Welcome back inside the Steel-Toed Brew Pub here on East 2nd, just off the Olympic Village in downtown Vancouver. The sports panel with Iain MacIntyre and Ed Willis. And guys, the National Hockey League draft is first and foremost, but beyond that, we're counting down the days now. It's the middle of June, July 1st, such a big day in the hockey calendar. The free agent window opens. Of course, now there's this sort of speed dating round. Teams have access to the free agents and their agents a week in advance. But again, I mean, we're expecting some movement. Let's start here at home, the Vancouver Canucks. Ian, how active do you anticipate? Jim Benning has gone on the record, talked about trying to acquire a 20 or 30 goal scorer. The names have been bandied about. We know the guys that they're targeting. Do you believe that the Canucks can be successful in unrestricted free agency?
Well, they are going to try. Whether I think they can be successful, it's tough. You know, it's tough. It's tough to come up with the money, especially if you're the Canucks. You have to be looking at Markstrom and Bo Horvat and Ben Hutton, and what are they going to be costing you a year from now? That said, I think they do have the money for one big free agent. Milan Lucic has long rumored to be the guy, but of course he's wanted to re-sign with LA. LA says they want to re-sign him, but he's still not re-signed. And so does Lucic go to Edmonton, or does he somehow fall to the Canucks, and at what cost? The Canucks are definitely active. Eriksson's another guy who's gotten a lot of attention in this market, and partly for the history that he has with Jim Benning when he acquired him, or part of the team that acquired him for Boston. And I think Eriksson would be a terrific plan B, but again, at what cost? You know, they aren't a team with all these young players now that they have to project for future salaries. This isn't a team that, in my opinion, can take on, you know, a 6-year, $36 million year or $36 million deal. But I'm not sure that they can necessarily get guys for less. When has there been a real bargain as a UFA? And
then we know, I mean, all teams have these grandiose visions of what they'd like to do on July 1st, but the players get a say in this too. Given where the Canucks are right now in the ebb and flow of the wins and losses, do they look like an attractive organization to an unrestricted free agent?
Probably not, but that money figure will make them seem awful pretty. I think this comes down to the eternal question about the Canucks. Are they doing a massive rebuild, or are they doing a subtle restructuring of their team which will allow them to stay competitive? And that very much is tied up with ownership. I still think they can be a competitive team, they can be a playoff team next year. And I think they're going to come out of their shoes to try and sign Milan Lucic, who ticks an awful lot of boxes in this market, both on the ice and at the box office. And I think they have to do, in ownership's mind, I think they have to do something to try and recapture this marketplace, and that would go a long way towards doing it.
And Milan Lucic, years 1 and 2, perhaps, what are they getting beyond that if it's a 5-year deal?
Well, that's part of the danger in giving Milan Lucic a 5 or 6 or even a 4-year deal, because there are so many heavy miles on that chassis. We see he's still a very good player at the NHL level. He's probably maybe not going to have another 30-goal year in him, but he does change the outlook of your organization. They've added Goodbranson, a big tough defenseman. You add a big tough forward. Suddenly now they've got a slightly different identity, but again, at what cost? I thought you mentioned at the start, very important aspect now, this preview period for free agency where teams can make contact. I think that's going to be vitally important to the Canucks. I mean, don't forget, they still have to make a decision. What are they doing with Alex Burrows? They've still got free agents to either qualify or not. I think Lyndon Vay's a guy who, if it looks like they can get a free agent, there's no room for Lyndon Vay, but at least the Canucks have those few days now where they can see whether they're going to get one of these guys or hope to get one of these guys or not. And that has a trickle-down effect, obviously, on what else they do.
And the same question to you. I mean, when you look at Milan Lucic as a long-term play, how many really good years do you think he has left in him?
Well, fair question, but I mean, 28, is he not right now? And this isn't a guy that like grew up playing like in rep teams and summer hockey and traveling all over. He really didn't hit his stride until he was 17 years old. Now, having said that, he does have a history of injury, and he does play a very physical style. So who knows, but I think that's part of the risk involved in any unrestricted free agent. You're getting a guy on the back nine of his career. You just don't know how he's going to age. Maybe Eriksson would be a little better bet just because he seemingly would play his style. Maybe Okposo, who's a little younger guy, or Michael Bodker, a guy I like, who's just 26, who ticks it off very fast, kind of a Swiss Army knife kind of player, can play up and down your lineup. So some choices available.
And one quick thought on that, what we should remember when we talk about prospective free agents, if it's a right winger, it's with the Sedins. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe what our projections might be low for whoever plays with them. Somebody, if the Canucks get him, somebody's going to come into a great opportunity for them personally with this team.
Certainly worked for Radam Verbata for 1 year at least.